I'm Chellie Campbell, and I'm 71.
Good morning, Chellie.
Good morning, Leslie.
Thank you for joining me this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking me.
So, I have one question to start off our conversation. What do you think people's first impression of you is?
Oh, it depends on who it is, doesn't it? Like, my signature brand is gold tennis shoes. And I started because one year I was giving up stuff for Lent, and I just thought, why should I give up chocolate for Lent? You know what I mean? It was like, why give up something good? I know it was sacrificial and all of that, but I'm not big on sacrifice. So I thought, I'm going to give up high heels. And I had been to Vegas and found a cute little pair of gold tennis shoes, and I started wearing those. And everybody commented. They said, oh, those are cute. Where'd you get them? You know, and I said, and I'm really comfortable. And after Lent was over, I put the high heels on. I couldn't walk. I swear to you, I just couldn't. It was awful, and it hurt so bad. I had forgotten how much it hurts to wear these freaking shoes that they put us in. So I started wearing the gold tennis shoes, and I found them at different stores. Then the internet comes into being, and you can shop online, and I'm looking for gold sneakers, and I find a few places, and I go, what if I run out? And then one day it was like Amazon. Gold sneakers. I went to Amazon. They had 436 pairs of gold sneakers. I hit the mother load.
Chellie will never be without her gold sneakers again.
Exactly. So I just find the most blingy ones I can. So I should probably show this. See.
Oh, those are today's.
Aren't they?
Those are cute.
These are new. I just got these because I have a speaking engagement coming up and I needed some more spectacular shoes. So that's how I do it. So people respond to me. Some people don't think it's such a good idea. Let me tell you a story. I had a speaking engagement downtown LA at the Jonathan Club. It's very high end, real she, lots of rich people, business people who are doing really good. So I'm speaking for National Association of Women Business Owners. And I'm wearing a nice suit and jacket, and my gold sneakers. And the guy opens the door and he looks at my shoes and he says, you can't come in here. And I said, what? Why? He said, we have a dress code. I said, and? He said, no sneakers. And he points to this board and it has all of these lists of dress code things. And number one is no sneakers or gym shoes. I think quickly. I say, yeah, but they mean dirty old gym shoes. These are gold. They are sparkly. They have diamonds on them. These particular pair had rhinestones. I said, they have diamonds on them. He's shaking his head. I play my trump card. I'm the speaker tonight. He goes, don't you have any other shoes? I said, no. He looks around. He goes, okay, but hurry.
You had to do the belly crawl into your speaking engagement.
I ran across the lobby and got in the elevator quick as I could. So now I'm standing around with all of these women who are in the, the fancy suits, the $1,000 suits, and the pointy-toed 4-inch heels. They look so uncomfortable. I'm just hanging out, So I give my talk. All about money. I say I treat money disorders, spending bulimia, and income anorexia. And so I lighten everybody up about money. I think it's mindset, and you've got to have fun and grinding at a job and saving for retirement so that someday when you're 65, you can have a good time is just wasting your entire life, in my opinion. Plus, a third of the American public dies before they get to age 65. Did you know that? Interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So at the end of my talk, I'm talking about all these issues, and I crack jokes, and people like it, and it's funny. And at the end, I had some books to sell, and I'm standing there, and this woman comes over to me, and she said, that was a really good talk. I said, well, thank you. She said, but you really should dress more appropriately if you're going to talk about a serious subject like money. And I've heard this before. I smile. And I say, well, I think you missed the point of my talk, because I think everybody needs to lighten up about money. And she walked away. And you know what? It didn't disturb me because I knew what she did for a living. She sold suits.
Oh.
Okay? She's just she's what I say, there's two kinds of people in life. There's your people and not your people. And she was not my people. It's really fine. Nobody is going to get 100% of the people, and this is one of the mistakes women make a lot, is they're trying to be perfect and get 100%. Nobody should, and I was raised like that, okay? Nobody should ever complain about you or be able to point a finger and say you were bad or rude or wrong or boastful or arrogant. I mean, you just like can't do anything except like respond yes and no and maybe and sure and oh, I agree. This was not me. I tried doing it. I couldn't do it. And then I figured out it's like, I remember the first realization I had was in high school where it was the hootenanny phase in the 60s. And I was talking about Joan Baez with this girl and she goes, oh, I hate her voice. What? How can you hate Joan Baez, that sweet, clear, beautiful soprano? You hate that? Oh, yeah, I hate that. And that's when I realized maybe I wasn't going to be able to appeal to everybody, that nobody was going to be. There are people that hate Mother Teresa. So what chance do I have? You know, not getting 100%.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I teach an 8-week workshop called Financial Stress Reduction. Now, it's interesting because my first career was as a musical comedy actress. And I picked acting specifically because back in the 60s, women really didn't have any power. If you watched the news, it was all men telling you the news, and the news was all about men. Women weren't creating news. The sections in the newspaper about women were all about fashion. And I had goals and dreams and I wanted to do stuff. And being an actor was like the closest thing I could think of to being a business owner. I didn't know it then, but looking back, that's what I can see. So I did that until in school it was great. Professionally, hard. And I got cast in a show at Disneyland. I did 5 shows a day, 5 days a week for 9 months out at Disneyland. And that, I have never been that bored in my entire life. 25 of the same 35 minutes over and over and over and over. And I had done a production of Hello Dolly with Martha Ray. And the lead guy had been doing 8 shows a week of Hello Dolly for 3 years. And I said, maybe this isn't for me. Well, in between acting jobs, I did clerical jobs. And one was a wonderful company, an employment agency. All the people were fun and funny. And they treated me great. And they said, we want you to go full-time permanent. I said, I can't do that. I'm an actress. I have to go on auditions in the middle of the day. They go, okay, you can go. I said, really? That's a dream job. I have an audition. Okay, bye. So the problem was they kept promoting me. And 5 months later, their office manager quit and they gave me that job. I said, that's finance. I don't know anything about that. They said, we'll teach you. You'll learn it. I went, okay. Because biggest thing that has made my life is I can take a risk. I have a friend who says, when I'm about to take a risk, I consider the downside. If it's not death, I do it.
That's perfect.
Isn't it? Yes. If I'm going to die, I'm not, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you.
Oh, jeez.
So I don't do the downside death things. But anything else, I figure, well, I got a shot at making this work. If I don't try, I have no shot. If I try, I have 50-50 maybe. So what's the worst that can happen? I fail and they give me back the other job. Okay. Did not expect this. I love this job. I love the money. I had a facility for money. I didn't know I had it. How would I know? I hated math class in school. It was so boring. But this was money. People are making money, and some of it goes to the expenses, and some of it goes to profits, and some of it goes to pay the commissions. And I just had ideas for, we can save money here, we can make more money there, and you should raise your prices here. And that was it for me. Then I started getting auditions, and I'd go, oh no, I can't go, I have a meeting. Oh no, I got to get payroll out. And I started seeing what I was doing. I was offered the lead in Three Penny Opera at the Houston Alley Theater in Texas. And I turned it down. I had a girlfriend who was an actress. We met in a play. And I said, I feel so weird because now I don't get to say I'm an actor anymore. And she said, well, what did you really like about acting? Oh, I like the applause, the excitement, doing something different every day. And she says, and what do you like about this job? Well, I like that they acknowledge me and I do something different every day and I have control. And she says, this is the same list. Just get over it and just do it because you like it. And I went, okay. So years later, I get hired to run a small bookkeeping service. I grow it from 2 people to 13 people. I had 13 employees. After the first year, the 2 owners of the business said, you act like an owner. We think you should be one. Here's 20% of the business. Keep on growing it. Light bulb entrepreneur goes on. So now I go, okay. Well, then I'm seeing that nobody knows how the money works. I'm handing my clients financial statements. They can't read them. They don't know what it says. I'm seeing gaps in their knowledge. I'm seeing where they're losing money on this and making money on that. So I started consulting with people. 3 of them in the same week who didn't know each other said, you should teach this. And I went, well, I've been to a lot of seminars that were helpful to me. I could teach this in a fun and interesting way, not all about saving for retirement, but how are you going to make money now and how are you going to have fun with the money you got? So, and I noticed that the wealthy people had no spirit and the spiritual people were all broke. Okay? So, I didn't buy into the concept of rich, famous movie star. I bought into starving actor and you got to pay your dues. So let me tell anybody that's watching this, your dues are paid in full. You already paid however much dues you paid for your life. All that shit you've been through. It's over now. You paid it. Now you get to have the glory, but you have to think like that. So that's when I started my classes, and that was 30 years ago, and honey, I'm still loving it. Actually, there's a wonderful story about this guy. What was his name? Harry something. And he sold his first book. He got his first book published when he was 95 years old. First book. He had tried it, never, but finally somebody picked it up, read it, said, we want to publish your book. He published 3 more books before he died at 102. And his quote is, the 90s were the most productive years of my life. And he is my idol.
That's amazing. I think he's my new idol.
I know, right? I ain't going without a fight, and I'm not going down all sick and bitter and bent out of shape and elderly. No thanks.
Well, I've known you for quite some time from, playing cards and being around you. I've also heard you speak at one of your seminars.
Yeah.
And there is nothing bitter about you. There is nothing but joy and energy that comes from you. And I'm sure the people that are watching this have felt it too.
Yay! I hope so. Because you can have a joyful life. You just have to focus on that. See, we all have 2 lists. These are the joyful things. These are the fabulous things. This is what I'm grateful for. And this is all the horror and the terror and the tragedy and the miserable things and the failures. Whichever one you look at the most is how your life is going to go next. So look at the joyful and be grateful every day. I just look for the miracles, and the miracles are all around us every day. The fact that you're here in my house and we're filming this thing, and other people that I don't even know and you don't know are going to watch it and maybe learn something or have a laugh or just think it's interesting or hate it and turn it off. Whatever. It's, your people, not your people. So I just keep putting it out there because I think it's fun, and this is what's joyful to me. Because when somebody emails me or texts me or posts on my Facebook page, I read a page today that you wrote, and I really loved it. And you really helped me today to get through today. One of the most meaningful things I got from my book, The Wealthy Spirit is the name of it. It's a page a day for every day of the year. And a woman wrote me from Sri Lanka. And she said, your book helped me recover from the tsunami of 2005. Okay, I'm done. My life's mission's complete. I'm just hanging out here now.
That's awesome.
I mean, how can you ever be sad or depressed or anything else when you have those kinds of things? And I tell everybody, every compliment you get, write it down. Every letter you get that says something nice to you, write it down. Put it in a Word file. Because when my book first came out, I didn't know how many people would ever write me and say something nice. So the first person that did, I copied and pasted in a Word file. And then I started doing that. And I have 300 pages now. So like when I'd be depressed, because I get depressed too, and things don't go well. I mean, when you decide to live a riskful, adventurous life, there's going to be stuff that happens that isn't so great. But I can go to this list of wonderful things and say, okay, my life has meaning and purpose, and I touch somebody and I help somebody, and I love that.
And I feel the same with the show. So
yes.
Sharing these stories is so exciting and so humbling, and I'm so honored that people like you and everyone else that we film will sit down and share with me, in turn sharing with the world their story. And so when you have a glitch or you have something that doesn't go as expected, you get a little frustrated or sad, but then you get the comments and the feedback from people that are watching, and it makes it all worth it.
People don't learn from you because you're successful and all that. They learn from you because they think you can help them. And you can't, if you're too high and above and mighty about everything, they don't think you can relate to them.
Right.
So it's just let it all hang out. That whole thing, be yourself. But people don't know how to be themselves because they're not being given permission to be themselves. But I'm going to tell you, I struggled with that a long time, and then I just said, forget it. I'm just going to let it all hang out. And the more I did that, the better friends I got, and the more of them I got. Because when you're pretending, people can tell, and then they don't trust you because they know you're holding back. Just let it out. Just be brave about it. And some people aren't going to like you, and so what? Who cares about them? And there's nothing more important than what you're doing, Leslie, sharing people's stories, because so many people have stories that are not giving an opportunity to share. And the most beautiful word in the human language is somebody's name. Call them by their name. It's just they respond, they open up. It's like people are like little cactus in the desert and hungry for a drop of water, and when you give them a compliment, they just go like this. So I'm complimenting people on the street that I don't know. Oh, beautiful earrings you got. And you can see it. They just go, oh, really? Oh, thank you. You gave somebody a moment of joy. Somebody I don't even know noticed me.
Sometimes it's just as simple as smiling at them when you walk by.
And guess what? A smile is the best facelift there is.
I love it. So, Chellie, I have 2 questions for you to round out our conversation. First one, what is something that would surprise people to know about you?
Oh, usually they're surprised that I play poker. You're a financial professional and you gamble, because there is no reward without risk. And people want to play safe. And I write about security. There's no such thing as security. There's not a house that can't burn down, a job you can't be fired from. You don't even know you'll be alive tomorrow. So tell me what security is. And people gather all this stuff around them. I gotta have assets that are... You're not taking it with you. It's all leased here. So figure out a way to live where you can pay your bills and still have enough money to go play and take a chance and take a risk. And when you find work you love, that's it for you. And if you can't find it, invent it.
I love it. So our last question. If you were walking down the street, you live in a very busy area, so you're walking down the street and people are passing you by, and you have the opportunity to hold up a sign that tells them one thing about Chellie, what would you want your sign to say?
Ooh, one thing. Don't judge me till you've walked a mile in my gold tennis shoes.